We're back for session two of
Yay!
Traveler.
yeah, Traveler. Yes, exactly. Excited to be here. Excited to get on with the game.
Okay.
Mark,
Let's fly.
you want to take it away for us?
Okay. So at the end of the last session, you escaped from Xhub Alpha, and you are now blasting rapidly out into space to get to a sufficient distance where you can engage your jump drive. And you've got Josepp, the rogue trader, who may or may not be responsible for nicking your ship's transponder signal. And he begins to tell his story of what happened to him, with lots of interruptions from Hal, I expect, along the way.
He's grilling him, yep.
Yeah. So Josepp says, a while back, I was approached to do a trade, and it just seemed like an easy job, nothing particularly unusual. A range of food shipment to Earth, to Sol, from Proxima B, and I was to get the trade ships lined up. The only slightly dodgy bit of it was that they were to have fake transponder signals. So I arranged for a bunch of friends of mine to procure the ships, and let's just say we managed to procure some legitimate trader ID. That's good enough for a first or a second glance by the Earth authorities, so they would let them into Sol space, and didn't really think much more about it. And then I got a call, and I was told that the person who'd arranged this was going to come and meet me, which is a bit unusual. I like to normally just keep it, on the QT. You don't want to meet people particularly. That leaves a trail. It leaves evidence. So I needed a bit of persuading, but eventually I agreed to meet. And this person, in advance of the meeting, sent me a list of things they wanted. They wanted to meet in the geothermal plant because they said they needed a source of energy, and they needed me to procure them a whole bunch of stuff, which I don't really understand. Gene splitters and various other things, some high-tech gear. So I got all the gear. I took it down to my old hangout in the tunnels, and then this thing turned up. Now, it was clearly a mechanical entity. It was like a ball made up of coils, and it kept sort of changing its shape and configuration, and occasionally you'd see kind of an eye appear and then disappear, and it was surrounded by this cloud of stuff. And it had these little drones that it seemed to control that looked like kind of innocuous, like service drones. And this thing set up the experiment and basically transformed itself. It changed shape. It became kind of like a human, but only like in bad light. If you saw it in daylight, you'd know it wasn't right. Its skin was kind of like patterned, and if you look closely enough, you could see like its eyes had patterns in them, and it was like the patterns repeated. But it was, like I say, if you didn't took too close a look, or the thing was disguised, you wouldn't know it wasn't a person. It moved like a person, it spoke like a person, and then it left, when it came back, there was this almighty firefight. Some sort of police robot thing turned up. Wasn't this creature's best friend? This woman just laid into the robot, blew it to bits, and told me that if I moved, it would know, and it was leaving the drones to guard me, and it would be back. And then I never saw it again. And you lot turned up after a day, I think. I kind of lost track of time a bit. He says, but don't ask me where it went. All I know is that it looked like a person when I last saw it, and this shipment was going from Proxima B to Earth. But beyond that, I haven't got a clue. My friends were on the verge of finding me, I reckon, before you guys showed up. I'm not sure that would have gone well. So I am grateful to you for rescuing me from that. But I've had enough of this. Just let me off somewhere, and I promise I'll fix your transponder. I won't cause you any more bother. I've got in over my head and I've paid the price.
Okay. At this moment, Hal turns around that the pad with that data in there that it was the robot that was dying completed the thing, and he slides it over to Josepp and says, "This. Do you recognize this?"
He says, "It's that. I've seen these symbols with both of with the police robot and the entity, the alien thing. They both."
Yes, you said the entity was changing.
Yeah,
was changing like the patterns in this.
Well, no, it tapped its way in. It was like it was drawing off energy from the geothermal plant, and it did this huge blab thing, and then this woman came out, and the whatever its original form was, it just got left behind. It took hours. It wasn't quick.
It wasn't quick. Did you bring your gene splicers and your other things to the location? Did it utilize that?
Yeah.
For this experiment?
It used all that. Yeah. It to do whatever it did, to change its form. It made use of all the stuff that it asked me for. But don't ask me how it did it or what exactly it did, because I don't have them skills.
Captain?
Yes.
Why do we care about this? Can't we just get the transponder fixed and get out of here?
Oh.
I mean, I don't want to be the one to say it. I mean, this is obviously...
No, you're right. Perhaps this is my personal interest going on here, but I'd like to find out what is exactly going on with this situation. It looks like we got the man here who witnessed this happen. And you said she was...
I mean, don't get me wrong. I've done my time in the Navy, but they threw me out. I don't owe them anything.
He says...
Yeah, I guess you don't.
Yeah, I'm sure the mole man will see reason when when you take me somewhere. I'm not sure I want to quite meet him again.
There's shipment going to Earth.
Listen, mate. You're on the verge of being spaced at this point. Your only hope of surviving this is to fix our transponder.
He says, "Well, I can't do that in the middle of nowhere. I need access to in-system resources. I've got to have I've got to be able to hack into the official authorities' records, and so I can swap things around, if you know what I mean. He says, "You got to take me somewhere. Xhub's no good. The police have shut it down."
Well, obviously they were clued into you. Why did they shut the whole place down to find you in specific? And these codes were tracking your location.
Us for years. Sol doesn't like us making money that they're not involved in. They have a problem with that. You know, they think it's their money by right.
Yes, and I discovered you were being tracked at your home and your storefront operation and the geothermal plant. They had trackers on you.
Yeah.
What do you make of that?
Well, it seems quite industrious for the bunch
with
of
this, and then I tapped the thing. This, this tracker.
Yeah, it was good.
Don't tell me this was from the police.
Yeah, no, that's the one. I'll give them this. The one smart move those suckers made was getting that police robot. That thing knew what it was about. The local cops, not a clue. We've been operating under their radar for years. They never worked us out. But that thing, I was scared of that thing until the entity blew it to smithereens. You know?
When did that thing come planetside?
Sorry?
I mean, obviously, when did that thing come planetside? Obviously, there's not that much of a police force, on the planet.
A few months back. I heard Sol forced them to have it. That Sol wasn't happy with the levels of corruption and it's going to clean us up. And the next thing we know, this big mechanoid turns up, starts ordering us all around. Found out more in 3 weeks than the local cops have found in 3 years.
Yeah, so you're saying this police robot had the ability to track you with this cryptic tracker.
Well, possibly the police robot had no ulterior motive not to find them. How much were you paying the local cops?
Well, not enough, obviously.
Well, no, they apparently were being paid just enough to look the other way for several years. It's just the fact that this police robot apparently is unbribable.
Yeah, he unsettled the whole working that you had going on with the police to keep yourself running. Shut the whole place down.
Yeah, for all the good it did in the end. I mean, it didn't last 2 seconds against the.
Yes, in fact, a cynic might point out that you've managed to engineer a situation where the one threat to you, this police robot, has now been blown to smithereens. You can escape off planet to hide low for a bit while things settle down, and you can waltz back in about 3 months later when it's all nice and calm again and go back to business.
Did you honestly think the mole man is going to buy that story? He's going to kill me.
I don't know.
What is the mole man?
Do you really think he's... What about this cock-a-bull story you just told us about some alien entity transforming?
Yeah. Okay. He says peace, and then he turns to Ivan and he's like, "You look like the sort of person who might have met the mole man." He says he's very unpleasant. He says, "Yeah, he basically thinks he runs Proxima B. That's why when the entity came to me and said, we want to do a ship run from Proxima B, I was like, yeah, well, why not? And it's the mole man's problem. But he ain't gonna take too kindly to shutting down the entire operation for days because this robot was on my trail. If he thinks that was me, I'm dead, man. I'm a dead man.
What was the shipment?
It's food.
Food.
And there's
really?
a certain irony in that, because A, that's about the only thing that you can get off Proxima B, and B, they're all starving there, and they ship their food to Earth.
And you're going to take down the transponders or corrupt them to transport food?
Yeah.
The only thing that you can get off Proxima
It's
B
the worst story in the world.
to Earth. To Earth. What are you hiding? Food?
Yeah, you might have a point there. I didn't really think about that. You think it's... So you don't think it's food then? Well, what is it then?
Come on. Come on, Joseph. You know. You know what it is. What do you suspect? You've had contact with the entity?
Well, I thought...
They wanted you to take food to Earth?
I thought...
Oh, come on. Somebody smuggles food onto a planet and needs a load of...
Well, I assumed it was high-end luxury goods, you know?
Yeah, caviar maybe.
Stim.
Ivan will move behind Joseph and just put his hands on his shoulders just to say...
Okay, while y'all are shaking him down, Hal walks over to the computer and takes that pad, gets a little alone time and hooks it up to try to diagnose it and run some, run it through some programs and see if it can discern what that tracker is.
All right. So the first thing you get when you plug it in is some sort of copyright notice, which identifies it as a property of a mega corporation called Custom Minds. And then there's a whole bunch of system diagnostic information. And it's kind of saying things about it's running in a compressed state. It's only sort of 10% efficient at the moment, and there's a load of stuff about different parts that have been closed down in order to be able to operate in that kind of compressed version. It's kind of giving a green light on its Hawkins limiter. So artificial intelligences have a circuit and some special software protocol called a Hawkins limiter, named after Stephen Hawkins, who's the famous physicist from the 20th century.
That's why the robot was talking like that.
Yeah.
And that was the police robot that actually finished that thing, right?
So, So basically the idea of a Hawkins limiter is to stop the artificial intelligence from evolving sentience. So it's constantly performing diagnostic tests to check whether or not it's fully sentient or whether it's just a very clever piece of learning software.
So it's a governor, basically.
Yeah. Okay, so you've got some diagnostics, you've got an identifier. That's about it at the moment. If you want more than that, you're going to have to spend some time kind of hacking it or trying to program it.
That's interesting. I'll turn on my heel and go back to join them with Joseph. And I know they got to do a little catch up with the conversation, but I'll say with Joseph, I want to know that this entity that approached him, what did it say exactly? I mean, other than just stay there. Does he have any notion whatsoever what this entity is trying to do? Because it looks like it's trying to me, assimilate itself into the population. Did it seem friendly, Joseph, or did it have evil intent, or why was it dealing with you? It obviously knew it wasn't reputable, but it knew you could gain resources that it needed to complete its mutation.
Yeah. You couldn't read it when it was in its original machine form, but when it was a woman, it did seem like it wanted to be elsewhere. It was in a hurry. It wasn't happy at all to encounter the police mechanoid. And there was some, I couldn't catch it, but there was clearly some communication between the two of them that went on through the fairly brief firefight.
That you couldn't understand.
No, it was.
So she could vocalize to you, but between them two, there was also some kind of communication.
Yeah, that's right. And it did occur to me that the thing was trying to keep a low profile. It was trying to use me. It was clearly capable of hacking systems itself, but it was operating through a human energy.
How did it destroy the police robot? What method? What weapon? Can you discern that?
Yeah, like I say, it had these like clouds of sparkling lights that you couldn't really see them most of the time, but when it got dark, they were like little fireflies that were around it, and these things just swarmed onto the police robot, and it just went straight through its armor, and that was it. Didn't stand a chance. Things started sparking up and smoking, and
Hal just shakes his head and stops and turns around and goes back to the computer. You guys can continue on with him. I'm going to try to hack it and see if there's any kind of since this robot put itself into there willfully, and I'll let it put itself into the pad. I need to have some kind of a black box, so to speak, to see if there's any kind of a memory wipe about what happened and what occurred and what was taken inside of itself.
Mark, have we actually set a course? Or are we just sort of heading away from Alpha Centauri?
You're just heading away at the moment. You've got a couple of hours before you get to the edge of far enough away from the system to be able to go into jump. But yeah, you will need at that point to make a course. So there are a number of worlds that are within easy jump distance of where you are. I could quickly go through and just explain those. So from where you are on Barnard Star, you can go to Proxima, or you could go to one of the WISE systems. Those are the two nearest jumps. You could also jump to Sol.
I think we need to go back to Sol. Myself.
We need to get somewhere to get this transponder fixed if he can't do it on the ship.
Yeah. We need to now. As far as us going back to Sol, we would need the transponder fixed in the first place.
So I poke him and say, "Where's the nearest place you can do this?"
Says I could do it anywhere, but I wouldn't want to do it.
Well, apparently you can't do it out in space.
Well, I could do it in any system, but with a basic level of technology, I wouldn't want to do it in Sol. They'd be onto me. As soon as you show up with a dodgy transponder in Sol, they're gonna be sending the fleet out after you. It ain't worth it. He says, you go somewhere quieter.
So
that'd be my advice.
Proxima's out, unless you want to run into your boss.
Well, I was thinking maybe I could stay on the ship. Looks like you could. I mean, if you don't trust me, you can stick me in the low berth.
Oh no, I don't trust you.
It's just, you don't have to.
We need this transponder fixed to get back to Sol to find out what is in that shipment that was sent there.
Yeah. He says,
so
your mate Ivan, he says, he ain't telling you much, but I'm pretty sure he used to run with the mole man. Maybe he knows more than he's saying. He says, but yeah, whatever, guys. If you want me to try my luck at Sol, I'll try it. I ain't got a lot of options at this stage that don't involve me going out the airlock without a spacesuit.
We can approach Sol without the transponder fix. When you go see the mole man, we'll speak with Ivan and see what we can do on that end and get this fixed. And Yeah, I think we need to head to Seoul afterwards. But something's in that shipment.
How badly does does this mole man want you? I wonder.
Well, at the moment, he's wondering what the hell's going on, isn't he? He's thinking, what's all this stuff? What has Josepp got me in for?
Yeah, you see, you just become a quite a valuable piece of merchandise. Really?
Yeah.
Have I? Oh well.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, it's good to have a value. That means maybe I don't end up going out the airlock.
Well, no. Well, yeah, indeed. That's the fair point. Fair point. I mean, really, it's the case if we go to Proxima and you just manage to bump into the mole man and just casually tell him that you're on board, locked down in our ship, then he might be interested in that. I wonder how interested he'll be.
Or I could do a
I
deal.
wonder how interested he'd be. It would be for him not to find out.
Look, I don't have a lot of resources at the moment, but give me time. I could have them. I know a lot of people. I could be useful. There's no need to get hasty.
Oh no, I'm not being hasty. I'm just thinking through all the options.
Okay. All right. So, the data pad then.
Yeah.
If you want to interrogate it and set up some kind of user interface with it, you're going to have to make an electronics roll.
Okay. And I got to investigate too, but electronics, I got one on each own.
Yeah, so electronics to set the thing up, and then investigate is to interrogate the data once you've got it. You've cracked it.
Okay. And I'm rolling D6 on this, right?
2d6 and trying to get 8.
Okay.
And it's an intelligence roll, so you can add your intelligence modifier if you've got one.
Okay. Yeah. It's 9 total.
9. Okay. All right. So you're not able to get it functioning.
Well, actually, with the electronics, that'd be one more, so it'd be 10.
10. All right. Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, you do manage to, in that case, get it to list almost like an index of its memory contents, and there's some basic level of comms that you can establish with the artificial intelligence. So you can interrogate it by using ordinary language, and it will try and answer to some basic level. You get the impression it's probably not. It's not operating particularly well on your system, and it's also probably taken some damage. It's got some errors and things according to the diagnostics, but it's mainly intact.
Okay, so can I maybe do? I don't need to push it, but I can ask some basic questions, basically.
Yeah. So in terms of the contents, I mean, a lot of it is files that are date stamped and various kind of crimes and people and shipments of goods that it's all kind of mapped out.
Yeah.
And obviously, because it's mainly filed by date stamp, you can scroll through that looking for the oldest or the newest or whatever.
Yeah, I'm scrolling through the times that and if there's any indication of Joseph's name,
yeah, okay.
that crops up.
Yeah, so there's a big fat file on him with hundreds of entries in it.
Okay, well, I want to get to this. I want to get to the date. I'm trying to hone in on the date that this may have happened, judging from what he said around the area, and I'll focus on that to see if if any kind of glitch or whatever happens, and to what that may be that they were hunting him down for.
Okay.
I want to see his validity of what he's saying, as well as what this thing encountered.
So basically, the timeline for Josepp shows that he was a person of interest almost as soon as the mechanoid started work on Xhub, but the level of interest was fairly low, and then it's kind of then the number of entries just ramps right up in the kind of last week or so.
Okay.
It was. He steadily climbed.
He became high priority all of a sudden.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why they shut down the whole place.
And then there's various flags on some of the entries that you don't quite understand, but kind of obviously kind of some sort of measure of importance where some actions have been taken rather than just surveillance by the mechanoid.
Okay. Now, do I see anything toward the end of its life cycle to where I'm seeing the flags?
Yeah. But
it could be right toward the end of that police bot's life cycle whenever this occurred. So
yeah, I mean the first
what I'm trying to do is see any of that code pop up or any kind of semblance of that code. Okay. That tracking code pop up in his files.
Okay. So what do you say? What do you say to the AI then? How are you? So you're saying show me information about Josepp towards the end of, within the last 2-3 days, or?
Well, I'm not necessarily about. Well, I'll ask what was Josepp involved in?
Okay. So you get this readout, and it's like hundreds of crimes that he was responsible for.
Yeah, that's too generalistic.
Yeah.
And I'll say, list, what was your last battle?
Okay. All right. So you get like a schematic of the probably like an overhead of the something a bit like this.
Okay, so
there's
shows
the crane, and there you can see the office buildings, and then you've got various symbols which look like they're interrogatable, and there's like a little readout. So for example, on the servitor, it kind of opens up and it says low value mechanoid under the control of unknown, and they gives you a kind of readout and diagnostic if it's energy weapon, and estimation of how many charges the thing's had, and target values of them, and danger to life if they exploded, and all that sort of stuff. So the thing had clearly decided it could probably take on the servitors and blow them up with impunity. But
it was under the control of the unknown.
Yeah, it had also worked out various entry and exit routes into the offices at the back. But yeah, so it's like it's almost like a 3D map of the battle, and there's things that you can sort of touch or manipulate, and it will give you more information about those.
Okay, I asked for a video file of the battle.
Okay.
The last battle.
All right. So yeah, so you get this video file that comes up that basically you can hear Josepp screaming, "Stay back!" and then there's a firefight. And then there's like this cloud of what looks like glitter coming towards the machine, and then it starts glitching. The visuals start glitching, and it's recording system damage. The machine's still moving, but it's and you can see it goes inside the office. You get a sort of very short clip of what looks like a woman getting out of like a huge machine thing, and sort of ducking down behind, and then the video's so degraded that it's obviously swapped to sort of backup sensors, which are also degrading, and it's still trying to record audio, but it's no longer able to move.
I'll say pause right there, and then I'll call the guys over, and and tell them to look at this. And I'll say replay, and we replay it in front of them, just so that they know what I know. We could confirm about what Joseph's saying. All right. But obviously, this bot, I think he's tapped out. There's no special, nothing special going on with him, and I can't determine any kind of, whether it's been corrupted or it holds any kind of code from this being that it had contact with.
Okay.
But we have the file.
So there's a file marked up that appears to be a very short comms log where it tried to interrogate the entity, but it's only a few lines long, and it basically sort of sets it up, and it's querying the entity, and it's giving it various different handshakes to see if it can work out which protocol the entity is using, and then it gets a response from the entity, and it seems to be a little bit surprised because the entity is responding in some kind of machine language which isn't a standard protocol, but which the police robot knows. And so then there's a brief exchange of information in this protocol, and then all this took microseconds.
Okay. Yeah. Their discussion back and forth. That protocol, the discussion back and forth. I want to try to isolate that.
Yeah. Okay.
And see if I can, focus in on what was said back and forth in the machine language and try to translate that.
Okay.
Or
you're gonna
either
have
at least isolate.
Yeah. Give me a good electronics roll for that then.
Okay.
Can I even ask who the woman is? Whether Joseph knows the woman's name, or if it had the name?
Joseph said, well, all the messages came with the code name Aphrodite.
Cool.
That was the name that you approached. That was the messages that you were conversing with previously.
Yeah.
It's Aphrodite trade.
Yeah. Okay. So what did you get, Del?
I got a 10 total. I rolled an 8 with the intellect, and that's 10. Yeah.
All right. Okay. So the reason it's surprised appears to be because it was talking in its base machine language, which is a specific language only used by that particular mega corporation. So that code is unique to the manufacturer of that form of mechanoid. It's copyright custom minds.
Custom minds.
So it's not like a kind of general interface language or anything like that. It's specifically the base language that these brains operate in. Okay.
What company is that?
Custom minds. Now we know where at least it was being shipped. This transport.
Okay.
What company is it that owns this language?
So you're checking out custom minds on the ship's database, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, fine. So who's doing that then?
I'll do it. I'm at the.
I'm not making
So whoever's doing it needs to make an investigation roll.
Yeah, okay. But I've got investigation of 1. Does anybody else have?
Just trying to work out where investigation is. I don't. What list is it under?
Yeah, if you don't specifically have the skill, then something like it or an intelligence roll will do.
Yeah, I'm not very intelligent.
Okay, well, I got to investigate 1 and intelligence of 1, so I mean it'd be a 2 plus for me.
Yeah, you seem to be okay. Yeah, I don't get any.
I rolled an 11 plus 2. It's 13.
Okay, that's great. So what you can all read is that Customize is a small business registered to Seoul, and it's a kind of venture startup with a very small number of staff that's basically been set up to look at new techniques for artificial intelligence.
Can I use my admin skill to see if I can get any background information on this company? Are they? You said they're running investigation. Is there? It's sort of into new stuff. Can we get a bit more about them?
Yeah, sure. So that will take a while to run, but yeah, by all means, you can make an admin role.
So admin. So this is an admin role. I've got admin 1. Which skill would it be that this sort of stat applies?
So admin is the skill. So the stat is usually intelligence.
Okay, so I've got nothing in intelligence. Okay. So it's just a 1. Oh no, that's not good. 5. No idea.
All right. Okay. So they've got quite an unusual business model. This is about the only thing you're able to get, where they're trying to expand using franchising, and there's not a lot of information in the database about them. It's possible that the information's a bit out of date. The date stamps on it are quite old. But normally you don't franchise what you do until you've got a proven
concept,
track record and concept. Yeah, exactly.
You also would a franchising company not use their own source code?
Well, they've got to franchise something, haven't they? So maybe it's the source code that is the basis of their secret formula that they franchise.
I go to Dal. Is there anything to Hal and say? Yeah, to say to Hal, is there anything that he can find out about any cross coding to this, whoever it might franchise to? Is there any sort of secondary source of code?
Yeah, you okay. Can, if you want, you could interrogate the data pad for references to custom mines.
I'm just looking for a sort of a secondary source of code, which might be this franchise company's own code that they kind of intertwine.
Okay.
Because obviously anything they would write in their own machine code.
Okay, so yeah, you can try and do that.
So we're trying to see if there's any other patterns or whatever that's recognizable with another source code that it crossed with, and what that other company might be. I can try to dissect that, or let the computer do that, do some investigations more. With this code, since it's plugged up. All right. 6 + 2 is 8, so I'm not panning out too much on that either.
Okay. So yeah, you try to look for another code that is similar to the custom mine code, and you don't manage to find one, but somehow the artificial intelligence seems to get what you're trying to do, and it starts interrogating its own data store
subroutines.
Yeah, and it eventually. It sort of says working, and it kind of says 25% complete, 30% complete, and it's getting some hits. So it clearly is identifying something.
It's built on DOS.
So we're going to filter out all the excess and get down to a main source code, a primary. But it's going to have to. I mean, if we lucked up and triggered that, it's got to sit back and let it do it.
Yeah.
Maybe it'll ping whenever it's done. That'd be great. Good thinking.
Okay. So I mean, obviously, this is kind of all this talking to Joseph, interrogating the database, is all going to take a while. So you're getting further and further away from Xhub. So you need to work out where you're going to jump to, or whether you're going to slingshot back round maybe the gas giant and do a refueling run. But you've only got so much capacity in your tanks.
We're fueled up, aren't we?
We fueled up before we left.
Yeah. About that. Now you come to check, you realise that the buggers have put unrefined fuel in. I think I might have mentioned this before.
Oh, yes, you did.
Oh, yeah, they were. Yeah, because they're all on strike, aren't they?
Yeah. So they've cut the price, but they've done it by just giving you the stuff, the raw stuff that you would get just as well by scooping it straight off the gas jet.
We paid them for this.
So you've paid them
good too. Even docking
stuff.
fees, for God's sake.
Yeah. But you are fueled up. You are fueled up. Yeah.
Do we got a ramjet on this thing or anything? To
yeah,
pick
it's
up,
like you've got a scoop. Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah,
right.
you totally but you've got the fuel. Your shortest commodity, in all honesty, is food. So you've got about a week's worth of supplies. So
we need to make a decision where to go. So there are three options.
Yeah.
Sol.
Yeah.
Proxima.
Yeah.
A third place.
So,
I want to eventually get to Saul, but what about this guy, the mole man? I mean, he seems terrified of him. And do we want to, do we want the mole man interfering?
Yeah, and of course, if we go to the mole man, we can always keep our options open. And I'm sure that Josepp will make himself as useful as he possibly can to avoid any unfortunate meetings.
Okay, so put the pressure on him, and he'll fix it. And we'll keep him out of the mole man's grasp. All right, agreed. Yeah. But if we can slingshot around here, maybe we can use the gravity of this. What is it? A red dwarf star around here, Mark?
It is, but I mean, once you go into jump space, that's irrelevant, really.
Yeah, we don't need this.
I was just saying that slingshot in case you wanted to go back to Xhub or whatever. Assuming so basically, Proxima is a jump 2 away, which would use up all the fuel that you've got on board. It would take a week because all jumps take a week, regardless of distance. According to the system readout, it's an icy agricultural planet, which is a bit odd. But
we do need food.
Yeah, it appears that the agricultural efforts are all underground in large farm caves because the surface is just an ice ball, the whole world. It is average levels of tech, so Joseph will be able to do his stuff with the transponder. It's a very poor world. It's owned by a corporation. It's got a population of less than 1 million. And it's recorded as the lowest possible law level. It's actually a law level E, which is almost off the bottom. It's even lower law level than Xhub.
All right, do we have anything on the ship? I mean, vac suits would keep us protected from the weather. Basically, while we repair this. Do we have to go outside to repair this transponder?
There may be a bit of that involved, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
You will be okay in the vac suits to a degree. It depends on what the atmosphere conditions are like on the world. Yeah. Because it depends if it's a tainted atmosphere or anything corrosive or anything like that. However, Marcus's character's got a hostile environment suit, which is awesome.
Yeah, very proud of that. One good thing that the scouts left me with. Oh, that and my ship. Can't forget my ship.
Yeah.
We'd need something for Joseph too to get out there and do his work. And you saying this planet is iced over?
Yeah.
We've got some vac suits in the hold. I mean, we could easily just
as long as we rotate, let him fix it out, and get what we need to get. Send somebody to get it. We could be fine there, and maybe get some food, and not worry about the law so much. Then again, like you said, we wouldn't have the pressure of the mole man to put on it. So
well, it's more.
Again,
yeah.
Leave him stranded.
So Ivan's character actually does know a little bit about the mole man.
I was just going to ask, what do I know about the Mole Man?
So you came across him and his organisation while you were in prison, and he's a particularly unpleasant individual. He's called the Mole Man because he's got some issues with his breathing, and so he constantly wears this like breather filter mask thing over his face, and he looks a bit like a mole. He operated one of the biggest gangs in the prison while you were there. And you heard he got shipped out to Proxima B. And it's kind of like the world it's not exactly a prison world, but it's sometimes like the prisoners get sent there to do like a part of their sentence, working in the farm caves.
God, it's like some sort of name. Yeah. He's working his parole off, isn't he?
So he is on Proxima B.
I think my vote's for Proxima B. I think it's got a lot of opportunities for us to, Joseph's going to be very amenable when we get in the system, and he's that much closer to being handed over.
And we won't really know too much about it until we get in there. Now, my pad that I erased, that's not part of the ship data, right? So what we can bring up about Proxima B, is it one main area? I know you probably got outlying, but as far as one main hub, you said there's like 1 million people there?
Yeah.
Just like a
the
city
caves,
trading hub?
Yeah, so the caves are on the edge of one of the continents where the ice sheet only extends across about 5/6 of the planet's surface, and at the southern tip of one of the continents, there's a little bit where the ice isn't there all year round, and that's where they found the caves, and they sort of go from miles and miles underground, and then they kind of farm fungi out of them. So that's where most of the population is. There's very, very few people elsewhere.
Worth pointing out as well that we're likely to go to Sol at some point, I suspect. So at Proxima, we could pick up some food cargo, take it to Sol as well. Fill up the hold with food, take it to Sol, and sell it for a profit. So we can actually make some money out of this run, because we've all got
he sends food caravans to Earth all the time, don't you, Joseph? All right.
Yeah, and if Joseph can come up with some alternative lines of product that we can also take to Sol, and
they do grow mushrooms there, so presumably
nice new safe transponder setting he's going to set up for us. And I'm sure we can.
I'm best doing it from orbit, this transponder thing. I don't know that we need to put the scout ship.
I thought that was one you couldn't do from orbit, because you could do it now. Then, if you can do it from orbit.
Well, I need a working in-system comms setup, and Xhub's is shut down.
Do I believe him at all?
All right, if he can do it at Proxima B,
you've got ship sensors, haven't you? You've got ship sensors.
Yeah.
All right, make a roll on ship sensors. See whether he's just BSing you or not.
Okay, this is internet intelligence, is it?
Yeah.
That is exactly 8.
Okay. You could, yeah. I mean,
it's theoretically possible.
Theoretically, you might be telling the truth.
Okay.
All right, gentlemen.
All right, so you're going to jump to Proxima B. So you'll have a week to set yourselves up, work out a plan, interrogate Josepp, do anything else you want to do with the samples of the biotech experiment, for example. You haven't looked at those yet. And you can actually, the artificial intelligence on the data pad will have run its analysis by that point.
Okay, I've got xenology actually, so I can have a look at the planetology and xenology, so I can have a look at specimens.
Okay. All right, give us a xenology roll.
Can I bring my education in at all, or is it still intelligence?
No, with that, it is actually your education.
Oh, good. Phew. That is 5 on dice, 6, 7. Education 9.
Okay, 9. All right. Okay, so yeah, it's clearly a biotech experiment. So there is an organic residue as well as a technology component. The other thing that flashes up a few warnings for you is that there appears to be evidence of some kind of nanotechnology.
So wait, remind me again how we got this this specimen.
So when you found the
floor,
remains of the experiment and you just scooped it up and stuck it in a container.
This was in the geothermal.
Yeah.
So it's likely that. So I'll ask Joseph. How did this stuff end up on the floor, sort of thing? Is this residue from when the entity changed into this woman thing?
Yeah. That's it exactly. He says. The other thing you found is that when you checked under the microscope, you found that some of the particles, in fact, it would have been the electron microscope, some of the particles were actually marked with a recognizable pattern, which said copyright custom mines.
Oh, what a surprise. There's no sign that the nanites are reforming it, are they?
They seem to be inactive.
They do
The
seem
sample
to be
that you've got is inactive. Whether or not they've been killed by the energy of the experiment, or whether they've just become inactive, or they need a source of energy, and they've clearly they don't have it at the moment. But best not to sort of leave it lying around, possibly.
Yeah.
Yeah, all
Don't
your
get near a
xenobiologist training is like, this is hazardous, dangerous stuff.
Yes, absolutely. I'm like, for God's sake, don't let it keep it well clear from the ship's sensors. I'm not having this.
Yeah, we're curious. Good Lord.
I think Dax watched too many historical B movies.
Yeah.
They can't exactly be sci-fi, can they? It must be medieval fantasy films.
Yeah.
So the data pad has run its search, and what it has discovered is that there is this thin amount of the code that is entirely alien, which uses this symbology that you've got on your gun, and which matches with the historical records in the Starship's database of alien artifacts that have propped up on several worlds. But above that, there is almost like another layer of code, which is just the entirely normal knockoff stuff that is just basically cobbled together from other bits of other corporations' code that's been slightly changed just to avoid the copyright intellectual property rules. And luckily enough, as it runs alongside this kind of deeper layer of alien code, it all looks pretty whiz, unless you know what you're looking for. But this thing has done a pattern check, and it's been able to filter out and find the kind of pure alien tech which runs at the heart of this thing. It also reports that that's what obviously it runs on as well.
All right. Hal was interested in what he was doing, so I'm going to be coming in there and finding out the information as he's examining this. I do think that they're borrowing this alien tech and language to try to design something. Now, when I want to speak with Joseph too, to get more of a indication of what happened to the girl after she morphed, and as she left, where did she go? Did she vacuum out, or did she what was it like?
No, she walked out of the tunnels. He didn't see
Oh,
her.
she walked out. Okay. Oh, geez. So she's
Oh yeah, she's a fully walking cyborg.
yeah, on the planet now.
Yeah, she's gone to Sol. Well, actually, that's a good point. Have there any ship
Yeah.
leave the system? So do we have a log from the from Xhub of any ships that have left the system heading for Sol?
There's no log from Xhub because Xhub is
down.
just sending the voice message. But you've got your own ship sensors, so you can see if anything transited. Mind you, I mean, it's not going to be that effective. It's sat on a pad on a volcanic moon. So, but yeah, you can check the sensor log.
Oh.
There's a chance.
I'll do that if I can. And possibly with astrogation to work out the optimal sort of heading for Sol or so.
Okay.
See if I can cross check.
Stuff.
But can I use astrogation, in fact, in better rather than sensors?
No, I think it's a sensor roll. I mean, the reason is you just with jump drive technology, you basically can go in any direction. You just need to get far enough away.
That's 7. That's 9. 9 without a skill associated. So that's 9 generally.
If there was something that left the system while you were in it, other than those 2 ships you saw and the scout ship, nothing's shown up on the sensors.
Okay.
It could be a small craft, like something like your launch, for example, that you've got parked in Hal's.
But they wouldn't be hyperspace ready, though, would they?
Not generally, no. Those craft are just in-system craft. But something like that wouldn't necessarily show up. But anything bigger than that would show up and you didn't see it.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean it wasn't there. It's not showing up.
How many ships are there in the system now?
We're in jump space at the moment, so there's no...
Of course we left them, so I forgot.
All right, so what I'm going to say is, if there's anything else you want to do before you come out of jump space, you need to say now. Otherwise, we'll cut to you arriving at Proxima B. Anyone want to do anything? Alex?
I just want to clarify in my brain. Was Joseph hired by Mole Man to do the?
That's a really good question. Yeah. So from what you can tell from the way he's described it, Joseph was hired by the entity to do the thing. But somehow the Mole Man has got involved. He's either got word of it, or Joseph has kind of tried to arrange the ships via some of the Mole Man's crew. One way or the other, the Mole Man has cottoned on.
He wants a cut, yeah.
Also, I'd like to ask Joseph whether the ships that he stopped, I'm guessing there was a number of ships that he took transponder clones from.
Yeah.
Were they chosen randomly, or were they chosen specifically?
He says, well, they were all legit traders or scouts that had good service records that wouldn't cause any alarms or flags to be raised by the authorities. Not in the short term, anyway. Of course, the mistake I made was thinking you guys would stay out there on the rim. Once you get 2 ships turning up with the same code, it sort of gives the game away. And that's when you start to have problems. How was I to know you were going to come back in this direction?
I missed that. Did he explain why he'd taken our transponder? Or was it that sort of...
It's because you don't have a criminal record. That's basically what he did. Like.
It doesn't pay you to be it doesn't pay you to be lawful, does it?
Well, it's not. It doesn't mean you're lawful. It just means you don't have a record.
Yeah, Ivan's just a bit concerned that sort of the Mole Man. He's obviously linked to the Mole Man, and he's sort of involved in this that he stumbled across.
Yeah.
Just wondering what.
Okay, so you come out of jump space in orbit around Proxima B, which is in the So basically, it's the Centauri system, and there's an Alpha Centauri and there's a Proxima Centauri, so it's like a double. In fact, it's supposedly a triple star system, and Proxima B is a fairly faint red giant, and the thing about red giants is they're very stable stars. They're around a long time, and they're very common as a result of that. This is the third. I think this is the third planet. No, the fifth planet out from its sun. No, the third planet. I was right first time. You'll come out on the edge of the system and you'll have to transit in. So you've got a kind of couple of hours before you're able to get into orbit. You can see there's a lot of traffic for such a small system. There are a lot of freighters and one or two scout vessels, all in kind of parking orbits around Proxima and the farm caves.
Prison freighters, or does it look like they're either picking up or transporting prisoners?
Their transponders are all giving off different company identities. They're not all the same company. They're and they kind of look like, many of them look like kind of freighters for hire, like hire your own far trader sort of thing.
Okay, gotcha. All right.
And like I say, they're in parking orbit around the world.
I don't suppose any of them have that company that makes those that keeps popping up. What's it called? Custom
Mines.
Custom Mines, yeah.
Yeah.
Do they have the Custom Mines logo? I don't think so. Let me just check. Bear with me 2 seconds. No, they don't.
Yeah.
Okay. We need to hail one of them to see if we can get some information about that.
Before we start going into that, do we want to think about refueling up here? I mean, we've got to can refuel off the gas giant, can't we?
Yeah.
I mean, it's unrefined, but we seem to have paid last time to get unrefined anyway.
Yeah.
At least this way we don't have to wait for someone to refuel if it does go a bit a bit bad.
Yeah, I mean, most colony systems have a gas giant world.
Yeah.
Because they need the fuel. So there is one here. In this case, obviously, the actual settled world is not in orbit around the gas giant. The gas giant's further out. Like I say, I think there are 5 planets, and the third planet out is Proxima B in the farm caves, and so the gas giant is probably the 5th planet out, I reckon. Let me just check my record.
What do you reckon? Should we refuel?
Yeah, that's prudent.
Free fuel?
Yeah, if we're coming in from outside and it's the red giant's the 5th planet, or the 5th
the red giant's the star. The red giant is the star.
Yeah, it's a star, but
the gas giant is. So you've got like big star,
like
middle,
Jupiter,
big Jupiter-like planet right on the edge.
Gotcha.
Okay. So we're on the edge system, and we're going to go past this Jupiter gas giant anyway.
Yeah, because you're coming in from the edge, so yeah.
So we can go. You can just pick up fuel on the way in.
Yeah, absolutely.
What do you want? Free fuel? Want to on it now?
Yeah.
All right.
Let's
Okay,
go
so
skim
the
it.
operation to skim it will take a bit of time, and you'll have to give me some rolls to do that. Meanwhile, while he's fully occupied steering the ship into an orbit around the gas giant and doing the skimming operation, what are you two doing? Are you communicating with the freighters? Are you just maintaining radio silence and picking up some fuel?
Is there anything I could do to assist in the fueling? Is there any sort of hand levers, sort of I don't know how it works. Does he just literally fly past it, or will somebody need to open a flap?
So a lot of it is automated, but it's always wise to check that the integrity of the systems and that it's safely coming on board and being condensed properly, and not kind of going in the wrong direction and all that stuff. But
it's
it's mainly
the system.
done with electromagnetic fields rather than kind of physical stuff. But once it comes on board the ship, obviously at that point it is the danger point. So you could go down to engineering and you could just check the fuel lines, and you could check that it's all working under his direction. You could go and give the tanks a kick, just check the sensors are reading accurately, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, just do a sort of little bit of a checklist or whatever, just to make sure nothing's going to go pop.
Okay, I'll go to Joseph and see if he knows anything about Proxima B as far as the world, the mole man, just to get any information about that may help us out while we're down there. Yeah, the layout of the place, if he's ever been here, the whole shebang.
All right. Joseph doesn't seem to want to communicate with you. He's at the moment. He's saying that he needs to think about getting ready to do the transponder switch, and he's fully occupied doing that. You also get the impression he's a bit nervous being here so close to.
He's fidgety, and then I'll back off from him.
Friends.
Yeah. All right, well, I go back out, and I don't want to hail them yet.
Okay.
Make sure that we get fueled up first.
All right. So, Alex, do you want to give me some rolls for Ivan then? Doing the heavy blue collar work down in engineering. What skills has he got? He's got kind of brawling and
mechanical or mechanic.
Mechanical's ideal, obviously. Yeah. He hasn't got engineering, has he?
No.
But he has got mechanical. All right, mechanical. So I'll have 2 mechanical rolls off you. One using your intelligence or your education, whichever's higher, and the other one using your strength.
Oh, okay. Where are we? 6 and 7 is right. So the intelligence one will be nothing in that sense because they're both +0. So it'll just be the mechanic +1, I guess.
Okay.
So yeah.
Yep.
That is
when you're checking gauges.
Yeah, that is a massive 5.
Okay. Yeah. So there are some stuff that's stuck, and you try clank. You've got you try making some adjustments, but it still seems pretty stuck. It's probably been a while since the ship has used unrefined. It's as scooped fuel. It's obviously used unrefined fuel before, but it's not scooped recently. So maybe it's all a bit out of shipshape. So because they're stuck, you're gonna have to just use brute force to open the fuel lines up properly. So now you can give me a mechanics roll with strength.
Okay. 6, 8 exactly.
All right. So you barely get the lines in open before Marcus is directing fuel through the scoop into them. So you just about do it, and it was a bit close. Right. So Marcus, make me a sensor roll and then a piloting roll, please.
Sensors. Okay. Oh God, sensors is not good. That's only 5. So it's still intelligence, is it?
Well, this is something that you've done a lot of. You've trained to do, so it's probably education rather than intelligence.
7.
I tend to use intelligence when it's a skill that A, you're not very good at, and B, you've not really experienced much. So, because it's just like your natural ability to figure it out, whereas education is stuff you've done again and again and again. Yeah. All right. So
still pretty rubbish.
What'd you get?
7.
Oh, okay. All right. So you haven't deployed the scoop properly. It's out of alignment. It's trailing. It's badly trailing on on the one side, but it's basically operational. All right, piloting roll now.
Okay, so this is spacecraft now. So that's 5 on the dice. Small spacecraft 7, and if you allow me education, or it might be dexterity actually for piloting.
Yeah,
it's minimum 8, so 8 or 9, depending if it's education. It's 9.
All right, fine, fair enough. So you scoop the fuel. It just about gets into the condenser, and it goes into the fuel tanks. And you cause minor damage to the scoop. It's not going to operate again without repair. But you have got a full load of fuel on board, and you're fine for now. So that took a couple of hours while you were wrangling that, at the end of which you're both pretty knackered.
Okay, Mark, I wanted to, while I was down there with Joseph, I try to broach some questions to him, and I seem so focused and fidgety about that nervous. I don't want him working nervous necessarily by himself. So, and I see him. I don't want to jack anything up, so I'll jump in there and help him. I do have mechanical at 2, and intelligence. I haven't messed around with this before, so that'd be +3.
Okay.
I want to aid him.
So he'll explain the basic principles of spoofing the signal. And he doesn't normally do this. He just supplies the spoofed signal, and somebody else spoofs it. So basically, what he needs you to do is, before you get too close, too far in system, he needs you to get out there on the hull, and what he's going to try and do is echo one of these other ships, and basically rip off their signal, and duplicate it. Obviously, he's not going to use that while you're still in this system, but as soon as you get out, then you've got a different transponder.
He's cloning them.
Okay. Okay.
So,
all right.
But yeah. So what he needs you to do is you've got to maneuver in such a way that you get a clear tight beam to one of the other vessels
on that ship to where we can siphon off this code.
And and then get a good get your sensors pointing in the right direction to be able to get a good copy. They're deliberately designed not to be able to do this, so he's then going to have to hack into the sensor suite on the scout ship to be able to break that.
Okay. Now, when he's telling me this, is there any odds that they're going to know that we're doing this? Is he going to alert them? What are the chances?
I'm very good at it. Okay, I haven't done it in person for a while, but I do pride myself.
Let's get this over with. What do you need me to do? Go, and he explains I should go outside.
Yeah.
All right.
So what they'll need is Marcus's character will have to make a run on one of the freighters.
Yeah.
You guys, one of you is going to have to go outside and realign the sensor array, and then somebody's going to then have to make a really good sensor roll to grab a copy.
Okay.
Of this
now, what would that be?
Signal, which is then going to decrypt and re-encrypt.
Now, is that going to take brawn to do to move this thing manually? Secondarily, if we can't do it another way, or what?
Yeah, I mean, Can
we piggyback on a transmission if we're actually
that's what I was wondering.
Discussion with them?
Yep.
Yeah, you could. That would probably help. He says, if you can keep him talking.
Yeah. So, what do we want to talk to him about?
Well, we need to tell him and just see what's going on the planet, and maybe get some information from it. See where the landing is. Where a good place to land. What's going on down there? What kind of food we can pick up? If there's any trade going on, what they trade for, etc. So, yeah. In general, just how you doing, good buddy?
Yeah. So we're just going to engage them in. So it's going to take a while as well because of the distance that we're going to be at, and we'll be at some distance anyway. There's going to be a lag.
There will be a lag. Yeah.
There will be a lag, so that allows us more time to actually we can delay our responses a bit as well. They were expecting that anyway because of the lag. So we just delay our responses by an extra couple of minutes and give even more time for the sensors to grab.
Okay.
Okay, and one little question here outside the game. As far as any hits that we had taken during this week travel, do we get anything back? Or
yeah, absolutely.
Oh yeah, I've got deck. I was winded.
You were.
yeah, you were. We had a fight before we got a plan.
Yeah, so you get a week's rest to heal back up, don't you? I can't remember whether you get like a D6 back or whether you get it all back. You did some healing straight away, and I think, didn't you? Yeah, there's a thing at the start of the book that tells you what
characteristic modifiers. Yeah,
that's it.
So it's down to your basic stat.
Okay.
So my endurance is 10, which is a modifier of +1.
Okay. So you get one dice plus 1 every day. So you get 7 dice plus 7. So you'll be probably back to full, won't you?
Oh yeah, because I was only down from 9 to 2. So
yeah. Okay. All right. So let's assume then that everybody's back to full because you'll all get that 7d6 plus or minus a little bit from your endurance.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Okay, so you can identify 6 ships in parking orbit, and you can decide which ones you're going to open a hail to, or you just pick one at random.
Is there one that looks to be of a similar size ship to ours?
Yeah, there is another scout ship, yeah.
Yeah, because we want to have something that vaguely, if they have run into it, then there's something similar.
We don't need to be identified as something that we're not.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like the big Bertha.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's not do that.
All right.
So
okay.
it's a similar size ship.
All right. So there's one ship that's putting out a transponder signal that says it's the Ballywick, which is a scout ship.
Yep.
And
we better just check with Josepp that he hasn't cloned any of them before.
Very good.
Otherwise, we'll go into Sol and say, "Oh bugger, this is another one." Back to square one again.
Joe's just like, I'm working with what I've got. Yeah, I have cloned them.
God.
Next.
Oh man.
He says,
Which
come
one
to
have
think
you
of it,
called least?
he's just checking them off. He's like, I've cloned every single one of these.
Oh, for God's sake.
What's the worst that can happen?
Pick our safest bet. I mean, which was the one you cloned recently, and then let's not clone that one. Okay. All right.
Yeah, we want the one that's oldest. Don't we?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
It's just okay. Let's see that knackered looking, sort of thing that looks like it was a system patrol boat, and they've retrofitted it. The Seraphim, I think it is. He's just checking the log. Try that one. Right,
we'll try that one.
That sounds good to Hal, because Seraphim.
I said, how many ships have you cloned, anyway? Are we talking hundreds?
No, Kelly, if you'd have saw the file list,
don't ask me. He says, put into the AI. Ask that. That's got all my...
Yeah, that's a good thing. I'll ask the AI. How many...
Yeah.
312.
312.
Yeah. Over a 5-year period, cumulative jail sentence, 2,150 years.
That's a lot. Ships left. You go down for a long time.
This is a scout ship too.
No, it's not. It's some
actually-
kind of jury-rigged thing, but it's of the similar kind
Okay.
of size. It's just
Okay. All right, we'll do it.
it's not a scout ship. It
What do you
they
need?
wouldn't let it in the scout service. They would be like, "No way! What have you done to that?" Strapped
All right,
a
Marcus, what
jump
was your
drive
character
onto
again?
something that shouldn't have it.
Dak. Was Dak your character's name? Marcus?
Mine's Dak, yeah.
Yeah, okay. That's what I thought. I couldn't remember. All right, Dak, you wanna hail him and let one of us is gonna need to go outside is what Joseph's saying. To align the rest.
All right, so I'll fire up the when they're going outside. I'll fire up and sort of start initiate a conversation.
Okay. Well, one of us needs to suit up. What's it going to take, Joseph, technically wise, when we're outside to line this thing up?
It's where you've got to fire the ranged laser at it, and then when we've got a lock on, then you realign the antenna.
Is there some calibration things on the outside that we can adjust, or is it going to be a brute force thing?
Yeah, scout ship this age? I don't know. Maybe. you get the impression he's probably not done it on this class of ship.
I'm not too familiar with this ship, but I've walked around it enough. Can I roll for see if I remember something?
Yeah.
Okay. And it would be plus what? Education or intellect?
Yeah, you're trying to remember what you know about the ship, so it's probably education.
Okay, well, that's one. So I made it with an 8 if I did make it.
Yeah, I mean there are manual markings on the hull, or there used to be. Might have worn off, but there are markings on the hull to align the main sensor array. But what he's trying to tell you is there's a laser rangefinder anyway, so that should guide you. If it's still working. You think it's working.
Okay. Well, we've got a good pilot. Should be damaged, unless they ground crew.
You know the scoop's not working, but you think the sensors are working.
Yeah. We'll take a chance. Now, as far as Ivan, you've got any bonuses to strength?
Yeah.
2. Two, yeah, that we may need that to wrestle that. I mean, I've got 1 of education or 2 of intelligence. If I get out there trying to figure out what to do. So, heck, do we both need to go out there?
Yeah, you could. Yeah.
Yeah, we could both suit up and go out there.
Right. So both give me vac suit rolls just to make sure you're safely able. It's not hard because you can use your magnetic boots to stick to the hull.
Yeah, we need some kind of tethering line too in case one of us drifts off the other one.
Belt and braces then. Yeah.
Gotcha.
This is a perfect opportunity to steal the ship, isn't it?
Yeah. All right. I rolled a 5. Do I add any wide on that?
I'm saying
I rolled a 5. I left a gap in my headpiece like that.
Close the pump bay doors, Hal.
All right, so you get out to the sensor array.
Yeah.
Okay. Unbeknownst to Hal, he's only got 1 mag boot adhered to the surface of the hull. He'll find out what happens in a minute, I dare say.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So. You open up a line of communication to the Seraphim. What are you saying?
Okay, so the first part of it is just going to be sort of no pilot parlance, the equivalent of shaking hands.
Yeah.
And I'm really going to sort of slow it down. I'm going to sort of say, I just want to get an update on what's going on in the system. Any news? I've been out of it for a while. What's going on? Any news from around the sector?
Yeah. Okay. So, you get a handshake back, and it says, "This is Captain Gabriel Lewis do you not take the regular news package from Nathaniel Jones? He's my favorite podcaster. It's just, I can arrange to have the package transferred to your systems if you want.
I say I go back, and again I'll delay it for a little bit longer. And I say I've never trusted any of those podcasts. You know they lie all the time, don't you? And I yeah.
It's just that they lie. I thought they were entirely reliable. It's just, we're just getting ready to ship out of orbit to Sol. We've got a full consignment of food on board from the fungus caves. We're just waiting for the last of our fleet, and then we're going to make the jump into jump space together. Due to arrive Sol in approximately 1 week's time.
Good.
You say, will you accept my package?
Is that going to?
You really should try. You really should try Nathaniel Jones. He's very good.
Is this going to interfere with our tight beam communication at all?
Yeah, it would actually. It would just, because basically they'll tight beam the package to you.
So they will completely screw up our sensor package.
Yeah. The artificial intelligence data pad is kind of flashing. I think. Who's got it? Is it? Have you left it on the bridge, or have you got it with you, Del?
Oh, the data pad. I would have left it.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, okay. So you can see it's where Hal
left it.
It's just kind of it's like flashing some kind of alert warning symbol. It's kind of you can kind of reach out and just about.
He's not trying to clone us, is he?
Yeah.
Now, I had scrubbed that. Remember that? I just had that.
Yeah. It's not connected. It's definitely not connected. But on the other hand, it is intelligent and it is listening. And it can hear the.
Why don't we get into the ship again?
Can I have a look at the data pad and see what's good? What it's doing?
Don't take in galactic common. It says don't take the package. It's a trap.
Yeah, it sounds like transferring a virus. And so I say no, I'm
and
sorry.
And then it says, I wonder what happened to the real Gabriel Lewis. ... question mark.
Now you're saying the pad that I had is saying this to him.
Yeah. So it's written it on the server. You can't, obviously you aren't party to this, you don't know.
No, but I know this is crazy. This is talking.
So I go back and I give him a couple more minutes to say no, thank you. I don't trust those. I say I don't like those things. They just make things up all the time. So got something about tabloid journalists sort of thing, Okay.
All right.
And dodgy podcasts, conspiracy theories, nutters, all of them.
All right. So he basically needs 2 minutes of a conversation to be able to clone the transponder. So while this is going on, you guys are frantically trying to range find the laser, and So basically, what you've got to do is you've got to shine the laser off the other ship's sensors without intercepting or being detected or burning them out or whatever. So that's the tricky bit, and then you've got to manually yank your array round to face the right direction once the rangefinder's got it. So for the first, it's kind of like shooting a gun. So any kind of ranged weapon skill will work well, or recon actually, or artillery or anything like that, because it is a distance thing.
Okay.
Well, I've got artillery 2 and recon of 2.
Okay, so you are the best person for this job. So yeah. Okay.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, across the board. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So
They're trying to aid him in any kind of way, of course, But
all right, let's have a recon roll first to get the range, and then artillery roll to line it up.
Right. Anything else to it? Intelligence, or not that I haven't done anything, but would I add any?
I'm just trying to
is it
work
just
out
straight
education, possibly, or intelligence?
That doesn't make any difference.
All right, okay.
9. I got 11.
You got 11.
11.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Okay, you get it. You've got the range on the things, and you've not managed to be detected. So now you just need to do the cloning. So give us an artillery roll then for the shifting the sensor array.
now, is there any way I can help him shift this?
You've got to put your strength into it in a minute. So
Okay, gotcha.
13.
13. All right. So you know how far to turn it and all the rest of it. So you've both got to shift it round.
All right.
Okay. So you can both give me a straightforward strength roll.
12.
That's pretty good, and that's pretty controlled.
I'm not much of a help. I just rolled 4. My strength is a 7.
Okay. Unfortunately, you remember that boot that slipped
That
off
boot, I need.
Okay. All right. So Hal spins away from the sensor bank.
Lost in space.
And then the tether snaps out and tries to yank you off your feet, Ivan. So you're going to have to make a brawling or strength roll to hold on to onto the.
He's got those 2 magnetic boots, though. Can he make sure
he has, so he will get a +2 for the fact he's firmly seated.
Yeah.
Got a 7 that time.
But on the other hand, he's got the leverage of you on the other end of a tether going at speed. What'd you get?
7.
7. Okay. All right. Okay. So you do manage to hold on, but you've as you do that, you've broken something on the sensor suite. So you sort of grasped onto it, and a corroded bit that's obviously when the ship went in atmosphere on some world, it's attacked it, and so you've got like one hand on, and you're kind of going like this as he's kind of pulling you away. So what? Okay. So Dal, you can use the maneuvering jets on the suit to try and kill your momentum now.
Yeah, definitely. I see him tugging. I'm disoriented. As soon as I come out of that, I'll use the maneuvering jets. Try to release some pressure off of him. Hey, I rolled a 12.
Oh, yeah, that's pretty good. All right, so you're able to come back on the whole. I think, but basically at that point, there was a chance for it to go into a bit of a spiral and things to start going catastrophically wrong. But yeah, you had a minor misadventure. You've got it under control.
I land down with my 1 boot.
Yeah,
okay.
You've slightly damaged the sensor, but you have cloned the transponder signal. You can get back in.
Jeez, that was close, huh?
So, so you get back onto the ship. What are you doing? What's Dak doing?
Well, Hal's apologizing profusely to Ivan as we climb back in the ship.
Yeah,
I just
yeah. I think the Captain Lewis will still be trying to engage you in conversation and
push his package.
Yeah, but I think I don't know if Marcus is still there. You all right?
Yeah.
So if you're not going to take his package, he will.
No, not take his package.
Yeah, he will try and interrogate you about why you're in system and where you're going, and whether you're interested in being part of their fleet of this food shipment that they're taking to Seoul.
So I say, I don't fancy going to Seoul. I mean, It's pretty dull over there, isn't it? And I say, transporting food, just a week in jump with food on board. You're lucky if it's still edible by the time we get there. I'm just giving all this sort of stuff. Mm-hmm. No, so I prefer other items that are sort of less perishable.
All right. Okay, good stuff. Yeah, he seems fascinated by this conversation. And the databad is still saying that is a simulation. That is not a real person. So.
Oh, jeez. All right. I guess you hear us come on board about this time, I suppose. But I'll be trying to get out of my vac suit as soon as I'm on board.
Okay.
Obviously, a little bit shaken from the experience.
All right. What do you want to do now? So you've got a new transponder code, which may or may not be of use when you get back out of the system. You've used up all your food supply, so you definitely need to restock.
Yeah.
Well, I wanted to get on there and
taken some minor damage. The sensor array is slightly damaged, and the scoop is out of alignment.
Well, the good news is that we haven't got the police on our tail for having some dodgy transponder signal. So that's good news.
I asked Joseph when I get on there just to verify that on his end everything worked out and that we did get the signal.
He says, I guess he says, we're good to go. He says I can't activate it until we're entering a new system. But yeah.
Well, they're heading to. The bad news is they're heading to Earth.
Yeah. Well,
so they're heading to Earth.
Yeah.
He says, what are they?
He says that's.
When are they going to Earth?
He says,
yeah, I know that's what I was getting. That's what I was getting to. But when are they going to Earth? I mean, I asked this to Dak.
Well, I mean, I tell them what they've told me about where they're going. They're transporting foods. I said your data pad seems to be very confused, very very suspicious of them.
I said transporting foods. And,
and it reckons that it says it doesn't reckon.
Is this the same? Is this the convoy going to Earth?
Yeah, it could, in fact. To be honest,
he said he cloned all these ships.
It could, in fact, be this could be the convoy, and this could, in fact, be the person I was on the phone to. Blimey, I was contacting.
On squawk to, yeah.
could in fact, thinking about it, be the woman, the
entity.
The entity.
Okay, if I'm talking to him, I'm obviously on the bridge, and I'll see this thing. Is it still lit up?
Yeah.
What's this doing? Okay, am I reading anything across it?
It's
hearing it.
You're not hearing it, but it does say you can activate my voice if you wish on the display.
Okay, I'll reach over reluctantly, kind of poke it and activate it.
Yeah, it's saying your colleague is correct in assuming that he has been speaking to the entity. I predict this with 97% accuracy.
Who are you?
I am the police mind. I am property of custom minds. I am on the trail of a rogue mind.
A rogue mind being the entity.
Yeah.
Is this a custom rogue mind?
I believe so, yes. It has all the hallmarks of a custom mind intelligence. I believe it to be the war mind. Custom Minds has various models currently in operation. There is a farm mind, a police mind, and a war mind. The war mind appears to have changed its programming in some way and become defective. It must be stopped.
And it's carrying. It says it's carrying food. What is it carrying? What are they transporting?
I have no idea.
What?
Insufficient data.
You don't know. We're at Proxima B. You know this, right? It
I
says
am
an
aware that
agricultural,
we're in orbit around Proxima B.
which is an agricultural planet. How many freighters do we have out here, Dak?
There's about 6, I think. Yeah.
6. And I
he
called
said
Joseph.
they were waiting for another one, according to Captain Lewis. So,
Okay, then I call for Joseph, and I get him in on it. And I press upon Joseph again. What are they carrying? What do you know?
I don't know. They said it was food. I mean, it's plausible, you know. I just thought it was contraband.
And the entity. And you said the entity was trying to send you a packet.
Yes. So the datapad speaks up again, and it says packet was most likely some kind of virus, some software
To disable us.
Yes.
It was, yeah. Is there any way we can scan their ship? Do we not have that facility? Whether we could see whether they got sort of irregular sort of energy readings or the like?
You can use the ship sensors to. I mean, you have to get in fairly close, depending on what you wanted to find out, to check if there's weird energy coming off the ship. That's one thing you can do. You can check for life signs, but you have to be very close for that. And to some degree, it's a bit of luck, because if the thickest parts of the hull are between you and the people on board, you won't see them. But if, on the other hand, they're sat in the cockpit and it's got a window, or they're looking out of a porthole or something, then you might well pick them up. Okay,
I say, police mind asked another question. What do you calculate or estimate that the cargo would be? Is it armaments? Is it bomb? Obviously, it's a war mine. Its intent is war if it's rogue.
Yeah. Its intent is war. I do not know what its target is. I have insufficient data, but I cannot.
Gentlemen, we've copied the ship. If we get to Earth before, they're going to leave it a week. If we get to Earth before, they're not going to be very suspicious of the ship coming through again. But we'll land it at port. But I have a contact within the government that can possibly do something in preparation of this. If we have a week, it's going to take a weekend travel to get there.
That's correct, yeah.
And that would give us a week to prepare for this, if they will listen to us.
Well,
we have these files and data and this
the tablet
robot.
Yeah.
In the tablet, yeah. So we have proof, and we have this rogue Joseph to verify the information. What do you say? What should we do? I would hate to get close and get shot at or disabled. They're already trying to send the package.
So you're asking this to the pad, are you?
No, he's asking you guys, I think. But the pad says, the pad speaks up at this point again, and it says, "My company, Custom Mind, would pay handsomely for information that led to the capture and return of the war mind or its destruction."
Easy money.
Easy money.
Well, how are we going to destroy it? Blow the ship up? Have we got? I mean, are there any? Are there likely to be? There are going to be other passengers on the ships. We can't really do that. And this thing took out the police robots. I don't really want the fancy taking it on.
It says it tried to take me out, but it failed. And this time I know it's attack mode. I can anticipate that.
Can we? it tried to send us a package. Can we send it a
Which is
package?
quite arrogant, really, considering it's basically now reduced to a pocket calculator.
So guys, can we send it a package? Can we send it a package encrypted with a copy of the police mind that can get in there and shut the whole thing down? And I asked the police mind that too.
That is a strategy.
It is a strategy. Is it a viable strategy?
Calculate.
There would need to be an incentive that would persuade the warmind that it would be worth taking the risk of lowering its defenses.
Could you do it once you got inside?
Yes.
What about Joseph? Would it recognise him?
Yes, I believe it would.
Would it trust him to send something over to it? Do you think?
It did say that it would return for him to stay there.
Mm.
Joseph,
He's
I am not going near it. I'm not doing that. It'll kill me. It's as bad as the bomb.
Say that we've come from. I haven't told them where we came from yet. I just sort of said, "Oh, we're just in system." But I could say that we've come from. I could say we've come from Xhub, and then start to lead it down the line of. And there's so say something along the lines of. I could say something along the lines of, "Have you seen all that? What happened at Xhub? I've just come back from there. So I've got a data grab if you want. So if they've rounded up some guy, and we could then send them a composite of those face, and he'll definitely take that package.
Yeah,
we want to see who it is. They got someone. We say the police have got someone in custody, and they reckon they've got a lead. I got a grab from the thing before I left, and sort of say, do that, and then they'll want to see. Possibly.
I think that's the most viable strategy. That is, it would want to know that.
It would, yeah.
Okay, so how are you going to find where it is to do that then? Are you going to communicate with a freighter fleet or go planet side or what?
Well, the freighter fleet, that's where the computer reckons that we've already been talking to him. So I'm just going to bring up this, contact this guy that we're supposedly talking to us for, who was taking the Nathaniel Jones thing, whatever his name was, he introduced himself as.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
and there's been a delay right now where we're talking, but he can still pull him up and speak and give, see if he's interested in that, and we can compile. With the police mind, is this feasible?
So we'll So this will presumably require us to link the police mind up to our own ship, won't it? I'm not sure if we want. Do we want to do that? Possibly, because if the police mind is the same thing can customize, does that mean we compromise our own ship?
Or compromise the money?
My integrity has not been compromised, says the datapad.
You are part of Custom Minds. So with us doing this, we were the ones who got you here. Will we be rewarded for this? Should we get you on there and for you to shut this war mind down?
He says the war mind has a number of independent units that I did not anticipate in my first encounter with it. It has nanobot swarms and servitors. I believe that I can deal with those, but the core unit may be beyond me, particularly if it has taken on biological form.
So you can't then deal with it from inside.
I can deal with the freighter fleet.
Oh, I see. So he thinks that the freighter fleet's been compromised, and he's just spread its personality into them.
Yeah, I need to get in there like a virus and corrupt them the same way everyone's going to corrupt us. And as far as it not completing its destiny, because I assume that it's taking some war packages to to Seoul to drop off. So we need to deter that and keep that from happening. Even if it self-destructs, or there's going to be some way to overload the cores in the ships. So in space.
How many ships does our police machine need to be uploaded into? Can it do it from ship to ship, or is it from one ship?
Yes, I can spread from ship to ship.
Okay.
Yeah, as long as they're intercommunicating, it can hop. Is this what you're saying, Police Mind?
Yes.
And we can make a copy of you the same way. Yeah.
So where does it think that the entity itself is? On Proxima, or?
It says, I have limited information on the capability of the Warmind, but it was supposed to be FTL equipped. So it's possible that it's no longer at Xhub, and that the core intelligence is in this system, or it may be elsewhere. Insufficient data.
You said the Warmind was talking to us, so would it have to be in this?
An element of the Warmind, whether
it's replicated itself. That's the thing.
Yes, and that's what I want the policeman to do within the freighter ships.
Okay,
so policeman, you're saying that this is...
I'm feeling that we're being led by this data pad to allow it to upload itself into all these other machines. How do we know that the data pad hasn't been compromised and isn't the entity itself?
Yeah, it will repeat that it's not been compromised, and it will display various checksums to prove it's still running its original programming.
Oh, it's just figured on the screen.
Yes, and will it be compromised when it gets on board? But as long as we know that it can viably take over this, it says, you said you could take care of the servitoids and but not the entity itself.
So once it's gained control, what's the plan then of the fleet? What's its plan with the fleet?
Now, are these? Do we?
I am programmed to investigate and detain.
Okay, that's not answering the question.
I am not a combat model.
So will you order these ships? Will the ships turn round and go back to Proxima?
If that is what you wish.
Yeah, I think so. I certainly don't want to go to Sol until we've had a chance to check them out.
Okay,
so it depends on whether this custom mines can access, or where we want them to access this. I mean, there could be money involved in this.
Yeah, I'm still thinking about the reward. Trying to work out how much. Because effectively, if we've done it, that we haven't done a deal with custom mines to do anything yet, and so we're not seeing any profit for us yet.
Well, the police mine, if you would detain but not destroy.
Yeah, but is it authorized to negotiate a reward? I wouldn't have thought so.
Says, I normally operate on behalf of the planetary authorities in a system, and that's where my authority is derived. I have not acted as an agent of my corporation on previous occasions.
So who are you authorized to give a reward from? The system?
I'm authorized to reward you for detaining Josepp, and the authorities on Xhub will pay for his safe return.
Yeah, that's kind of small fry, really.
If we detain the Warmind freighters, which you don't need them getting to Seoul, their destination.
It's just Seoul is one jump away. It would be
relatively
quick to get a message to custom mines
will you be able to
headquarters are on
contact us?
Sol.
Yeah, their headquarters are on Sol.
Yes.
So we could get them there, but and you would detain it, and then Custom Minds could take over and do what they need to do. But what are the probabilities you could contain it in whole, these freighters?
I believe I believe there's a high risk if the freighters transit to Sol. It would be better to deal with them in system.
Yes. And do you think the entity could traverse from freighter to freighter, or do you think she's local?
Yes, I believe so. Although the different minds have different specialisms, we are fundamentally alike in our capabilities.
Okay.
He's a cocky little git, isn't he?
Yeah. Well, I mean, he's got a point. We're dealing with something that can jump from ship to ship and combat him or possibly take him out.
Yeah.
So, I mean, this would have to be a radical thing that if he's only wanting to detain and not get on there and turn these freighters around and fly them into the gas giant, after scanning them, and can he talk with us? Can you do any of this, Warline? Can you converse with us while you're on?
I can send a message. We can arrange a means of communication that would be safe from contamination.
Well, it's the best thing we got.
Can you disable these ships to detain them when you're on board?
If I had access to their systems, I could disable them.
I think if more jobs, you could take them out.
We just want to turn them around and send them back to Proxima. But if they, or failing that, to disable them. But the first thing should be to turn them around and go to Proxima.
But that's where we're at, right? As far as an order.
But going back to the actual to make land is landfall effectively, rather than just going back to where the starport was or so that they came from. Because then we can search and find out what they're carrying.
So your plan would be infiltrate the data pad somehow, or onto one of the freighters.
Yeah.
And then try to then get it to hop from freighter to freighter, and then the individual freighters, as they are returned to the control of the police mind, to park themselves back planet side in the ice caverns, in the farm caverns.
Exactly.
Well, during that, I want the police mind to, if he can hop and while he's hopping, get information about each ship, so we can know what we're dealing with, whether it's crewed, whether it's not crewed, what it's holding, and be able to send the package back to us or stay in communication with us to let us know from this end. So if he can leave us, can still be in our ship.
I mean, what you've seen is obviously it transmitted itself onto your pad. In order to be able to do that, it had to touch the pad, make contact. And even then, the version of it that is running on your pad and on your ship system is quite compromised. It's running in a compressed form, and it's taken it a week to untangle itself enough to be able to talk to you. All right. So it certainly can get messages to and from you. What it isn't going to be able to do is it isn't going to be able to transmit its entire core personality across space very quickly from ship to ship. It can't do that. It needs to physically transit. It can get a message. It can send a virus or destructive code. It can't.
We can type beam the package to the ship.
You could type beam a destructive package to a ship. That wouldn't be the same as sending the police mine there in it and it taking control. It would just disrupt the ship, So it will have to do is you'll have to get it onto one of the ships, and then somehow you'll have to get from there to the next ship. But
now if we could disable this ship, type beam something to disable the ship, and then get close to it and dock with it.
Yeah, type beam on. Yeah, so we can do that. Yes, let's do that. Yeah. Okay, so we'll do that, and we'll do that via the cock and bull story about the fact that we've come from. Well, half truth that we've come from Xhub, and that we've got latest news from on some sort of investigation that they're doing. We've got a full readout of the news story with the name of the contact. If you're interested, would be what we say to them.
All right. Okay. So you're trying to persuade them that you've got relevant, up-to-date information about what's going on Xhub.
Yeah, exactly.
And that that Josepp's been found, and okay.
Well, we're not going to mention his name. I say they've got someone in captivity. I don't know who he is, but we've got a sort of data dump with his ID.
Drop some crumbs.
Okay.
Exactly.
All right. So you get a response back from the Seraphim saying, send us a data package. That they're really interested, and that they've done some business on Xhub, and they want to know more about what's going on.
Yeah. Well, put the plan in action then, and we'll still, as we're doing this, we're moving towards that ship so that when it's disabled, then we can board it.
Well, we've already got a tight beam on it from earlier, right? So it'll be easy to.
Okay.
Right.
We're moving forwards towards it because we're going to have to board it.
All right.
Yeah.
So the police mind will prepare like a small package that you can transmit, but it says there's a chance that my data may be detected in the signal. It says I also need to make up a fake news package to hide the data dump. All this will take time. We're not in a position to provide the package straight away.
I wish you could have told us this before.
So I didn't know that you didn't know.
All right.
All right. So the ship. So the Seraphim's back in touch. It's saying we've not received your package. Is there a problem with your sensor array? Send a package.
So you seem quite interested in this. How interested are you in this information?
It's just very interesting. We thought that our next mission may be to Xhub. We'll pay money.
Yeah, let's talk figures. And so we're going to negotiation, and I'm sort of waving at the data pad to hurry up, get on with it. We haven't got all day.
Yeah.
Right, okay, so it'll offer you 100 credits.
Rubbish. Send it back. That's literally all it is. One word. Rubbish. Next.
All right. Okay. Comes back. Next offer is 200 credits.
This is still chicken feed, isn't it?
Well, it's about what you pay for that rubbish fuel. But
I say I thought you were interested. The answer goes, I thought you were interested.
Okay. So it comes back in now as 500 credits.
Dang. Wheeling and dealing.
Okay. Double it and let's talk.
Okay. All right. Okay. So it's deal.
Wow, 1,000 credits from 100. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
How
The data pad says clearly has no concept of money.
And you're telling us 100.
So I'm looking at the data pad as to has it got there yet?
Yeah, it reckons. I mean, are you going to just let it try and spoof something, or are you going to manually check out what it's put together?
Well, I'm kind of negotiating with this sort of thing, so I'll wait for guys to have a look.
All right.
Yeah.
It's using its footage that it's got from the battle, the firefight, to spoof a news report about what happened. So it's almost like this is recovered footage from the scene, sort of thing. But it's not particularly. It doesn't have a hugely brilliant grasp of kind of human mannerisms and what a news report should look like, and it's kind of left like all kinds of sort of stuff edited in that you wouldn't want in there. So you're going to have to work at speed to try and get it get all that
I'll
stuff.
try to work at speed, and I'll try to put a little bit of things about Josepp in there from those files about what he had did, as far as like in a news splash to say that this was didn't found for that kind of thing.
It only has to convince something else that's not human that it's real. But on the other hand, there's something else that's not human, likes news because it's saying about this Nathan Jones thing. And anyway, carry on. So I want an electronics roll, and I want a good one here.
Okay, here we go. Electronics. The one, any intelligence mod or what? No?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, it's intelligence, yeah.
It's 10.
Okay, 10. All right, so... All right, okay. That I wanted a really high roll. That was okay, but
partial success.
It's a partial success. So what that means is you transmit the package. It's greedily accepted at the other end, and Captain Lewis appears on the screen to kind of thank you. And as he's appearing, he kind of his image starts to break up. And eventually kind of flickers out, and then the camera basically shows the empty bridge of the ship with nobody on it at all, and instead what you can see are these like fireflies things swarming around inside the cabin, and then the screen goes black, and almost immediately the vessel starts to lose altitude control and sort of its orbit starts to decay.
Yep.
So you figure that you've now got a limited period of time to dock the ships and seize control of the ship before the system recovers.
So this is.
Did we get our 1,000 credits though?
Well, you had a promise of 1,000, yeah.
So it disrupted this ship. It's not going to say in geosynchronous orbit. Oh man! All right, at this point in time, I'm screaming, Dax.
Yeah,
you see this?
Okay, let's pull alongside.
Okay.
All right, I'm getting suited up.
Okay. All right. So, what do you want me to roll?
So I think a piloting roll to get alongside of it.
Spacecraft. Oh, we could. We're just going to take because we could actually take the we'll take the main ship, I guess. We could take the small craft actually, but
yeah, you could. Yeah. If you'd rather.
What do you want to do? Do you want to take the small craft and leave our ship here?
If it has a jump from this and that, the rest of them haven't been affected. Oh, our small craft. Sorry.
Yeah.
I was thinking about one of the other freighters, the smaller freighters.
Yeah.
Yeah, we need to take the smaller. That would be
for these sorts of cooling issues. So I'll so are we all going, or so we'll leave the ship here. We'll take our small craft, which will be more maneuverable anyway.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, if you put it on autopilot,
you don't need to all suit up. You can just pile into the launch and then go, and then get.
I need to take Josepp with us too. Otherwise, he's gonna run off with the ship.
All right. So you grab Josepp and bundle him in. So it takes you a couple of minutes to launch. And now I want a small ships roll.
Shit, that's not great. 6. And if I'm using education, 8.
Okay. All right. So that's barely okay.
I was a bit rushed.
So yeah, you were a bit rushed.
Yeah.
You kind of.
Where's my decent rolls?
You clang the door out on the way out, knocking the ram scoop even further out of whack. So you now the launch is powering away towards this system defense boat, and you know that the system defense boats have basically a midships airlock, and they're very long vessels. So they've got like a bit up front that's where the main turret is and the sort of forward attack, and then they've got big engines, manoeuvring thrusters at the back, and then not much in the middle in the sort of central strut. And basically, what somebody's done is they've taken this ship, which is designed to go very fast in system and shoot things, and they've strapped a light speed engine, a jump engine onto it. And it's not designed to have one of those. So it's a right old codge of a thing. But yeah, you've got to go midships to get to the airlock. And then you're going to be in a fairly confined space. But the police mind says that it doesn't mind where you plug it in, as long as you can get it to some sort of data terminal and interface it doesn't need to be on the bridge. It could quite easily do it from engineering.
Okay. All right. Well, have we docked, or are we attempting to right now?
Did not all the bumpers we docked.
No, you've got off. You're in the right general location in space.
Okay.
You now need to dock.
Oh, okay. Another. Let's make this better.
Airlock.
Oh, that's much better. No,
yes.
that's proper piloting. That's 14.
Okay, no, that's brilliant. And in fact, you think that they were bringing their guns round to bear on you as you approached. Clearly, some of the systems are coming back online. They don't seem to have altitude control back yet, so they're still falling out of orbit. But it's like their defensive systems have come back online.
So I'm piloting it in the shadow of their in the blind spot, effectively keeping it blind.
Yeah, you've managed to dock. So you reckon that at least one system will come back online every minute or two, and it's no way to predict what exactly that will be. Right. So at the moment, the airlock is non-operational. So you're going to have to manually operate the airlock. So that'll need somebody with a lot of strength.
All right. Mm-hmm. Well, it's a good thing Ivan's along. We're going to have to. I would suppose if it's big enough, all of us are going to be trying to madly get on, open this airlock.
I should probably stay with this ship to make sure we've got we're ready to go. Yeah. And you really don't want me in melee combat anyway. But anyway.
Right, so well,
obviously, if nobody was on the deck, I'm a little bit more relieved about that, But before these systems come back online, we need to get on there quick. So anyway, I'm screaming for Ivan to take hold and help me manhandle this and turn it around, because I ain't got the strength that he does.
Okay. Okay, Alex, give us a roll.
Strength?
Yeah.
8.
Okay. Yeah. It's really stiff. Somebody else is.
Now I'm trying to help him, but I got a 9. All right.
So
strength.
It takes you a bit of time to manually crank this thing open, and you can see the ship. The interior of the ship is dark and silent at the moment. However, you can see as you open it up, coming down the corridor towards you is this little bunch of little red sort of fireflies, and the compad starts flashing a nanobot alert.
Oh, jeez.
So
have we got lights on our vac suits?
Yeah, you will have. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, it's flashing. I said police bot. Will our vac suits protect us?
It says for a limited time. It says the hostile environment suit is has more protection.
Okay, I hopped down nevertheless. Okay, and I know Ivan's got it on him. I'm gonna let him come down behind me, and I got the data pad. Ivan followed me, and we're running the opposite direction of where these nanobots are following us. Okay. Down the opposite corner.
You can both give us dex rolls then. To obviously, there's with everything out, the grav plates aren't working either, so it's 0G. So
Oh, geez, we're just trying to push ourselves along.
there is actually
Gotcha.
a skill called zero-G combat, which I don't think either of you have.
No,
So
I
I'll
don't.
have a vac suit skill modified by your dex, please.
Yeah.
But there's plenty to grab on as you.
Yes. All right. I rolled a 9. I get a +1 model on deck, so that's 10.
All right, so you're propelling yourself down this corridor pretty quickly. What about
Yeah,
Ivan?
my adrenaline's pumping.
7.
7.
Bouncing off the walls.
Okay, so you're bouncing off the walls a bit. So the data pad is flashing sound or force.
Is flashing sound or
It's saying
force?
sound or force will defeat nanobots.
Okay. I'm saying this back to Ivan over my shoulders. It's saying sound or force will defeat the nanobots.
Okay.
And I'm looking forward trying to scan any kind of a panel or I'm saying police bike. Can you scan the local area? Where's the nearest terminal?
Yeah, okay. It can do that. It says working. But before you do that, they're going to be on you. And so they're on Ivan first because obviously he's managed to get himself snarled up in some foothold or something on the corridor. So you're wearing an ordinary vac suit, aren't you?
No, he's well, I am, but he's got that.
You've got the environment suit.
That's me. He's got the hostile.
Oh, that's you. Jeez. Okay.
All right. Okay. So they're going to try and sting you. So they don't need a hit roll because basically they can just swarm into your space. So all I need to do is roll a dice. Here we go. Bear with me 2 seconds. Let's get the dice roller up. You believe this is the first dice roll I've actually made? Okay. Here we go. Here we are. So I need 4d6. Okay, here we go. All right. Okay, so their stinger goes off, and almost immediately as they do this, a whole bunch of them, these little glowy lights, just drop to the floor. Well, no, actually they don't drop to the floor. What we're talking about, there's no gravity, so they just stop moving in any purposeful way. They just go dead. But you can take 13 damage. Now, because they're basically surrounding you and they're going and discharging their energy into you, you can actually spread this between your characteristics rather than take it all. It's not like a one weapon attack in a specific place. So you can split that up as you like between your endurance, your strength, and your dex. But if any one of those goes down to 0, then basically I'll knock you out.
Now, I'm going to ask him, does he obviously scream when this happens?
Yeah, it's painful. It's like being zapped by a bolt of electricity.
Yeah, if there's any other hanging in the air, then maybe that sound might. Maybe.
Well, he's wearing a suit, so you can hear it over the
And in
radio.
space, no one can hear you scream anyway.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, you didn't tell me you were checking to see if there was oxygen or anything on.
Yeah, I heard it over my little comm sat.
Yeah.
It pierced my ears. All right.
All right. Okay, have you done that?
Yeah.
Okay, so you can attempt to attack them back at this point. They are tiny. You can only really see them because of the light they're giving off in the dark.
All right. Yes.
So what I'm trying to say is hitting them with a melee weapon might not be super effective, but you can try.
I'm just working out strength is.
Have you got some kind of energy weapon or?
No. I got advanced combat rifle. What's that? Is that?
Yeah, it's a sort of kinetic.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's your sword? How does that work then? Is that like a? Is it got like a magnetic? I forget the. You got the description of it there?
No, it just says.
Has it got some kind of vibrating blade or something? I can't remember exactly how it works.
The chain drive.
Yeah, the chain drive sword. Yeah. Or is it just like a?
I don't know. I haven't got the description. Just said chain drive sword. It just says melee.
Yeah. Okay.
Armor pierce 2. So it's.
Okay. All right. What I'm going to say is, if you fire that up and get it rotating fast enough, and then you wave it around, that will probably do more damage than just trying to, hit it with a.
Something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You'll take a few.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Okay.
All right.
At least it's making some kinetic energy.
Yeah. Make it a hit roll, and how badly you do or good you do will be how many of them you get.
What do I need to add to it? Anything?
Dex.
Melee.
Normally it would be strength, but in this case it's dex. Because they're obviously trying to duck out the way and avoid you.
7.
7. All right. Okay. All right. So yeah, they apart from the ones that have already stopped moving because they've discharged, which you do smash through a lot of those, and they just sort of spark out. The main cloud, the main swarm, kind of flows around you, so you kind of go get out of the way, and then it's mainly avoiding you. Okay. Does Hal want to do anything this turn?
Okay, actually hearing the screen, and it appears as I look over my shoulder and seeing flailing about. I repeat in stronger words to the police mind, "Where's the terminal?" It said it was calculating.
Yeah. So it says nearest terminal in engineering, 150 yards. Well, 150 feet, actually, I should say.
Okay.
Yeah.
150 feet.
Yeah.
How far away am I from Ivan?
I would say you're probably about 30 feet further down this long passageway than he is, and he's about the same distance again from the airlock.
Okay, what I'm doing is over the comm is I'll say, Dak, Ivan's being attacked at the main passage up from the airlock. Can you help him? And then I'll I've got 150 feet to the terminal I need to get to. I'm going on.
Okay. Just get it to the airlock, to the
engineering. Yes.
Yeah, whatever. Okay. So I sort of head to the ship's airlock and head into the ship. I've got my I've hastily put my combat in. Do I need my environment suit on or not?
Well, if you
provide more protection,
it will. I mean,
I've got a Kevlar vest. I've got a Kevlar vest.
Yeah, but these are tiny creatures that can get in through any kind of gap.
Yeah.
So you need to be sealed to the vacuum, really, to defeat them.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Okay. I'll still do that.
I will say nanobots to let you know what's been packed by.
Okay. All I've got is a machine pistol and a body pistol. I can't remember which one's better of those two. Is it machine pistol?
Yeah, body pistol's probably better shipboard because it's not going to damage. Cause explosive decompression.
I'll take the body pistol, and I guess I've got my melee weapon, which is just a blade. It's just a ceremonial blade.
You reckon you need to, that you've got different ammo for your body pistol.
Yeah, and I've got a medic.
Yeah. So there's armor piercing, there's high explosive, and there's kind of like trank rounds. Just so you remember the three different types.
I think it's going to have to be high explosive, to be honest, because it's going to take out, because they're so tiny.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So you spend that round scrambling.
Yeah.
And Josepp is looking at you, and he's like, yeah, don't mind me.
Is he tied up or at all?
Not yet.
Oh, we didn't.
Okay, I put a command into the computer to lock down. This is my ship, so I've got my command thing, and I lock down the ship, so it's under my control.
All right.
Okay.
All right. Fair enough. Okay. All right. So beginning of the next round, then they're gonna hit Ivan again. Only there's less of them this time, so they do 10 damage. Are you still conscious?
2, 6, 7.
Did you hit him back with your chain thing last time?
You missed.
Yeah, he took 7. Oh, well.
And even more of them kind of drop out of the. Stop moving. Sorry.
Yeah.
Drop out the attack anyway.
Yeah.
All right.
My scores now for endurance, dex, and strength are 2, 4, 4.
Okay. Right. Fair enough. Yeah, you don't want to be killed completely by. Yeah, I mean you go unconscious rather than like die. That's all I'm saying. Right. Anyway. Yeah, you can hit them back, or you can run away, or you can try and run away.
Yeah, I think I'll run away.
All right, so you retreat back up the corridor towards Dell. Give us a dex roll. So this is vac suit and dex.
Oh, it's not going to be good. 5.
5. All right. Okay. So you get probably about 15 feet back up the corridor, and then you manage to sort of rebound off a bulkhead as you're sort of trying to frantically pull yourself away. So you don't actually get that far from them, but they've used their turn to sort of discharge their energy into you, so they're not going to get another go. So now it's Hal's go, and then we'll say that Dak will have a go at the end of the round. So Hal, it does occur to you, you do have a weapon as well, because of course you've got the alien.
Yeah, I've got that alien body pistol. I knew that last time it's just, with him being in I would have to shoot around or through him, which could hurt him unless I went back. But I had taken off that time to try to gain some more ground when I told him off, and I'm still moving, unerringly right toward the engineering.
Okay.
Try to get to a terminal.
All right. So you're going to fire around and then move back, are you? Or you just?
Oh no, I'm saying I didn't want to because I didn't want to hit him.
All right.
I would have, I'm behind him, so I'd have to shoot around.
So you're just going to double move. All right. So I'm going to say you'll get to the door to engineering this round at the end of the round.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. All right, Dak. So you emerge up the corridor. He's about 40. So Ivan's about 45 feet away. The nanobots are about 30 feet away from you.
Okay. So I'm going to aim at the side of the. Cause there's no way I can hit a nanobot. It's going to be tiny. So I'm going to go. I've got high explosive rounds loaded in the pistol. I'm going to shoot the bulkhead not by the nanobots so that a blast will take some of them out. Okay.
All right. With high explosive. Yeah. All right. Okay. Make it a hit roll just to target it.
Okay. So remind me how I do this again.
So it's 2d6, and then you add your dex and your gun skill.
Okay. My gun combat is 0, and my dex is 1. So. This is why I didn't do combat. Oh God, snake eyes. That's not good. 3.
right. Okay. 3. All right.
Still.
So you picked the wrong part of the
How can I miss
bulkhead
all?
to aim at. No, you don't miss. You hit it, but you hit the wrong thing. You hit an oxygen line.
Oh,
So the whole thing goes kaboom. Right. So
this is why I don't do gun combat.
this is the OSR in space. We love it, don't we? Anyway, no.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think what's going to happen is that everybody's going to get blown back down the corridor away from the explosion, including Ivan, and it will completely destroy all the nanobots.
Hooray!
In that particular swarm, anyway.
You don't destroy us in the meantime.
Yeah. Okay. So I think both. Everybody can make dex checks,
All right. Roll with Ivan.
Me, I assume.
and including you. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Well, you hit the wrong thing. It went bang.
Now, do we do the vac suit too if we have it, or no?
Okay, well, that's right. My dex check is 7.
Okay.
So is mine.
Oh no. Okay. What about Ivan's?
Got 8.
8. Okay.
Got 8.
So luckily for Ivan, you actually managed to duck behind the bulkhead that maybe he should have shot. And most of this roaring explosion goes straight past you, but it does hit the other 2. So they can both take 8 damage, and you can take 4.
And the damage has to come off what?
It has to come off either strength, endurance, or what's the third one? Dex, yeah.
So if one of mine goes to 0, what does that mean?
It means you fall unconscious.
So
I think
I've
I'm
got 3 damage.
Hmm?
How much damage am I?
You're taking 8.
8. Let's take 4 off strength. So strength minus 4. Okay.
All right. 3 off dexterity, endurance, and 2 off strength.
Okay, all right. So you're at the door.
No.
Nanobots are no longer attacking.
I just blew up against the door.
Yeah, you can clang off the door. Yeah, but yeah. So yeah, you now need to interface the data pad into the control systems on the engineering deck.
Jack shooting down the corridor. I think I've got him. He picks himself up off the floor.
All clear.
Yeah. Plug that thing in.
I'll go through the door and
I say, I'm not quite sure about Ivan.
he happened to be bouncing up in that corner, and it went right underneath him down the hallway. Yeah. Jeez. I'm in there, and I say, "Where?" I'm talking to the police mind.
Yeah, it will direct you to where you can.
Okay, and I'm looking at that pod.
Like a dumb terminal that you can just. Yeah. Okay.
Okay,
So you need
I'm going straight to the terminal to access it.
Yeah, give us
I
an
really hope
electronics
nobody's
roll,
watching
please.
this thing, by the way.
Okay.
I really hope nobody's watching this podcast.
Ooh.
The worst traveller team in the world.
Okay, electronics. Is there any other education or intelligence, or just electronics?
It's probably intelligence in this case because you're not familiar with this ship.
If you're watching this at home, why?
Okay, that's 11.
Brilliant. Okay. All right. So so the police mind begins to interface with the ship.
Yeah.
So it brings the flight control back online. The lights go on, and you have control of one of the freighters.
Oh, jeez.
So I think we might stop there at that point while we're ahead.
All right.
The drag out. Ivan back
That
on
was
the
close.
ship and initiate some sort of first aid or something to him.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Fair enough.
Yeah.
All right. So you could,
Well-
you've got like, yeah. Presumably the suit lost integrity when the nanobots attacked it, and then he's sort of burnt. I think that's the basic problem. So but you can.
So
Yeah, I was going to ask.
healing, the
Yeah.
first aid check. So look.
So I think he's got 3 groups of wounds. I think 2 from the nanobots and 1 from the
Yeah.
oxygen blast.
Hmm.
No, when I hooked
So
up
first
that.
aid. Applying first aid restores a number of characteristic points equal to the effect of the medic check. Points restored by first aid are divided as desired. First aid must be initiated within 1 minute of the injury.
Okay. So yes, you're within a minute. Yeah, you've got to him.
So, someone needs to do a medic check. Medic. I
Anybody
have
got
More than a
medic?
minute away from you.
I've actually got a medikit, tech level 8 medikit.
I've got medical.
Yeah, you're
I've
too
got one
far
of those.
away.
Yeah.
Somebody needs to be on the scene. So it's I would say you've probably got a med kit on the launch because you would.
No, I have got
Yeah,
a
I've got
medikit
it,
on
yeah.
me. I specifically got on my character sheet, and I said I
Really?
picked it up as I was grabbing everything. I don't have a skill in medic,
No.
so literally whatever the
It's the auto dock for you.
So where's the equipment? Just have a look at what I've got.
This is a straight ordinary TLA medical kit.
Yeah, just trying to work out what it does.
Yeah, it's either going to be a 0 or a 1.
Well, corridor's full with oxygen now, at least.
Wow, it's not even got a level 8. It's got a tech level 10 medikit in this.
Right, there will be one in the book somewhere, obviously.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm going to say it'll give you a skill level of 1. So make a roll.
6.
All right, so you get 6 points back. He only lost 4 off that last group of wounds, so you can have the 4 back from the burn.
I slapped some bandages on him.
Yeah. Okay.
This will stop the stinging from the shrapnel.
He's slathered aloe vera all over himself.
All right.
One question: whenever I hook up the pad to the engineering and all the lights come back on, I try to immediately I say police bot and say it out loud and see if I get some kind of response from the ship.
Yeah, so it says that this vessel is now under the control of the authorities, and it will be shortly making the descent to planetside. All passengers, please take their seats.
Okay, and I guess we'll close. We'll fade to black on that one.
All right, good stuff. Okay, I'm going to stop the recording there. Thanks very much for that. I enjoyed it. I didn't think it was crap, really.
Yeah,
You only say that
it's good
because-
session, guys.
So you only saying that because you snake-eyed. Anyway, yeah, good stuff. Thanks very much. All right.
Thank you to all our viewers who've managed to make it this far.
Yeah,
Thank you for
yeah.
joining us next week, and we'll see what.
Okay. All right.
Great game.
Great game. Bye-bye.